He went from like 2 to 5K per month in November, December to in May, he cleared $120,000 in a month at 16. Here is the thing. A lot of people stay small and they get to spend a lot of time with each client one-on-one, and then they hide the churn through relationships, right? Meaning if I stayed small with only 5 clients and not 22, I could have figured out for those 5 businesses how to get them success.
Tell me about
Mm-hmm.
Rwanda, man. Like, I wanna know, what was it like? Like, what's it like growing up there? What was the experience
Yeah.
like? Do you go back there often?
Um, so, I was born in 98. I'm sure in Rwanda, there was the genocide in 94,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I was born a lot later. And funny enough, man, like Rwanda, especially Kigali, is probably one of the most beautiful city in Africa and the safest city in Africa today. And the development has been insane. When I grew up there, I grew up with my grandma and my 3 older brothers. I have 3 older brothers, and a lot of people online, or everybody who's an entrepreneur always has that, like, hey, when I was young, I used to sell stuff, I used to do this, but for me, not really. I've never had I was just a regular kid.
Mm.
I used to go to school. I was good enough in school where I could get by easily without necessarily having to put in a lot of effort. And um and life there was pretty chill.
Mm.
Like, we had a good life. We never missed of anything. We weren't like we weren't broke. We were chill. We were kind of like middle class, somewhat upper class, um, and it was a beautiful life.
Mm.
It was a beautiful life. It's just that at 13, then we got the visa to come to Canada. So from 0 till I was 13 years old, I grew up there, went to school, then started high school, and then after my first year of high school, then that's when we came to move to Canada.
Hmm. Do you think that
Yeah.
transition to Canada was difficult? Like moving, pretty like different climate, man, different setup. Like, did you have any background in
Uh,
Canada or anything with your family?
n- Not really, because the way that we grew up, we already spoke French,
Oh, cool.
already spoke English, right? Because school was in English, but we grew up speaking French. And I feel like one of the thing in African culture is that we spend a lot of time watching a lot of movies. So for me, in my mind, moving to the Americas, even though it was in the States, it's still Canada. It's kind of like the same. You're kind of the only perspective you have of America is like the movies,
Mm.
right? You expect it to be like the high school and the high school lockers, and you're gonna make friends and this and that. So it's almost like you kind of like have already lived it, although you haven't,
Yeah.
right? But when I moved here, it was pretty easy to adapt, because I think the hardest problem is language barriers.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can speak the language, it's super smooth. It was pretty chill.
But dude, that like movie lifestyle actually is true of America. Like, my fiance is American. I spent a lot of time in America,
Okay.
and compared
Yeah.
to even Irish culture, even today, dude, I was speaking to a studio in Scottsdale, and I just said to the woman that owned it, do you have any other guests that potentially could be in the same niche? And she was like, yeah, I do actually. I can intro you to all these people. And she said, you should talk to this person and this person, this person. I feel like the
Yeah.
environment is conducive towards like helping other people when you are someone who putting in the work. Let's say if you're lazy and you're
Yeah.
fucking broke and you're not putting in work, then of course it's not like helping you. But if you're someone like yourself
Hmm.
who, like, you don't necessarily need to be entrepreneurial, but like, you're a smart dude, right? You're clued in. You were clued in when you're
Yeah.
younger. It was going to give you that opportunity. America or Canada, it's all the fucking one,
Oh,
right? It's just the
man.
fact
Oh
that
my God.
I think that like that exponential growth is available there. And I've even noticed that as
Yeah.
well with like when we're jumping in and out for podcasts, if I'm speaking to people, I just don't think that behavior is replicated in other countries in the world. It's
No.
a very
No.
interesting observation.
No. It's I mean, I even think that if I had not moved to Canada and seen, because okay, maybe this gives you is going to answer your question better when you ask me, like, what was it like when you grew up in Africa, and you get a specific perspective and culture of living. You get to see really rich people and really poor people who are living in crazy conditions, right? And when you move to first world countries like the States or Canada, you get to see now the playing field is leveled.
Mm.
Whether you're poor or whether you're rich, everybody has the same opportunities,
Hmm.
right? So for me, I even think that the reason why I'm where I'm at today is because I got to live and to experience what not having opportunities look like. So when I moved to Canada, even the littlest, like the smallest opportunities, I didn't take them for granted because I knew what it looked like on the other side. So for me, hard work to me came as a given. Like
Mm.
I'm like, oh, people are like getting paid this much. You're getting paid by hour. Like in Africa, you get paid monthly.
Hmm.
You get a monthly paycheck, and it's like a few $100 a month, right? Here you can work as many hours as you want. You can change jobs every month if you want, and you're gonna get another job, right? And you have opportunities of people making driving Lamborghinis at 23, right?
Mm.
So for me, when I started surrounding myself with other people who are looking for a better life, when I was maybe 17, 18, I started getting around people in network marketing, and I started seeing guys who are 23, killing it, driving Lambos, and I was like, huh, I don't understand. How is this possible? So I got curious because I had nothing to lose. I know what average and bad looks like.
Mhm.
So let me just take a chance and try to improve my life by, learning and taking more risks,
And dude,
right?
I can see that even in how you position, even what you do right now. You speak a lot about leverage, right? And even if you think about, if
Hmm.
you just do the juxtaposition of Rwanda, whereby it's manual labor, it's tough labor, it's probably working in fields and agricultural,
Yeah.
and the input to the output that you receive is so difficult to receive due to circumstances and
Yeah.
environmental factors. Whereas, like literally in the digital space or the online space, you have such a different ability to generate leverage that most guys have
Hmm.
blinders on and don't even think about it, right? They just think just
Yeah.
input output continuously.
Yeah. No.
But this is just so interesting to observe, right? Because it's not, as you mentioned, you came from a ordinary family in Washington. You have the juxtaposition to,
Mhm.
where just to give you a context. So I've seen you make over 600K a month. Has it been in around that period, just for context for people now at the moment?
We Yeah, we average around 300, 400K cash collected. Revenue is a lot higher, but
And
yeah.
how has that changed your perspective on like how you view life, dude? Because you've gone through all the evolutions at such a fucking young age. So now you're at this point, right? And this is where
Yeah.
it's very just cool to observe someone from the outside like this, because now you're at this age, you've hit a lot of these milestones that guys in their 50s and 60s kind of can't hit. Like
Hmm. Yeah.
how do you view life now?
Uh, so I'm gonna be honest. I think I experienced growth too fast to to really get to appreciate it, to be in the moment. Like, because like I really found my first agency service that worked in 2021 January, right?
Hmm.
And by the end of the following year, I made 600K a month, right? So in 24 months, I went from nothing to to something that even I sometimes can't believe I did it, right?
Hmm.
So it almost like it happened too fast, where it's like I didn't get to sit down and be in the moment and be like, holy shit, because to get that transformation, you have to be working every day. It's not a I'm in Dubai, like buying watches
Mm.
and chilling and doing content. No, it's like I had to compound every month after month. I didn't have the time to sit down and be like, oh wow, I made a lot of money last month.
Hmm.
What can I buy? It was okay, we did this month, we did better. Okay, what is the next best thing we can do to 10x the revenue we did last month without having to work harder, right? So now I can tell you the perspective that allowed me to achieve that. I think that maybe would be a little bit better. Um, I, for me, a lot of the time, what I've realized is I spend a lot of time studying businesses that are infinitely I mean, they're bigger than anything that I even want to build personally. Like, I'm not an entrepreneur who's aiming for like, okay, let me do $1 billion a year, $1 billion a month. I don't really care. But I spend a lot of my time learning from CEOs who've built those companies, or investors who break down those companies and invest in them. And what that has allowed me to do is to look at revenue a little differently than most people. When I first started in the game, I did it because I wanted to be financially free, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the decision making from that perspective doesn't actually allow you to build a great organization.
Mm-hmm.
It only allows you to build a business that's making you a lot of money, a lot of profits for you to live the life you want, to drive the Porsche, to live in a penthouse. But like, you're not going to scale to $1 million a month and beyond because you're doing it for lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the perspective for me shifted from viewing the business as a cash cow for me to like, okay, I'm an actually a CEO. I'm a leader. I'm an athlete when it comes to this game of business. So now I started being a little bit more detached from the performance of the business to my worth. Like, I'm not client acquisition at IEO. Just because the business is making a lot of money doesn't make me better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
But I wake up trying to be like, okay, cool. What can I learn from this other business and come in and play it? But making a lot of money definitely does. I think the biggest contribution it's had on my life is it's made me more confident in myself.
Hmm. And that observation of big companies is strange because you would think that those companies are so detached from smaller businesses, like small to medium sized businesses, that
Yeah.
you can't somehow, in some aspects, learn from them. Let's just give it a simple example, like a tech company. Like if you
Hmm.
looked at Apple and its
Yep.
infrastructure, although you could look at the ecosystem of all the products and interconnectivity, that has a lot of relationships how you could basically serve
Oh
someone.
yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
for
Yeah.
some people, when they're getting into the game, they would just think, let's look at the coaching program. Let's look at someone else's fucking course over here. It's like
Yeah.
you're playing the game at a higher lever basically, and you're playing it at a higher
Yep.
level, which is a difference between
Yep.
pro athletes and semi-pro athletes. They still train every day. They still go to the sessions. They still go to
Mm-hmm.
the gym every day, but
Yeah.
they get different fucking outcomes.
Yeah.
When did you
Yeah. It's
change those
super.
inputs though in your head?
Uh, Man, I don't know. For me, I'm fascinated by growth. I'm fascinated. It's not It's not really fascinated, but I'm just, when I see someone build something great, I'm really appreciative
Mm-hmm.
of like greatness, of like, it's almost like, for me, I see business just like any type of art. It's like, I like music, I like Chris Brown. If I listen to a really good Chris Brown song, in how I feel is the same way how I feel when I'm listening to a business breakdown of someone doing, um let's say, like, or let's say you look at a company like Nvidia that just now is doing like $30 billion a quarter. Like, you can't fathom that. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. So for me, I'm like, fuck. They just went 25 years, ate shit the whole way, but now somehow they're now in like $100 trillion like a run rate, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's the same way that I react to a business like that. Is the same way that I react to a good music. It's like, I'm just appreciative of like, holy shit, because I know how hard it is to think through all the layers and structure it so that the business is durable and
Yeah,
sustainable.
for sure, man. It's a
You know?
meditative process, right? At the end of the day,
Yeah, it's
like it might seem like a shit show in the moment, and it probably is. But at the end of the day,
yeah.
like when you're able to reflect, you probably know Matt Gray quite well, or are you familiar with Matt Gray? He's from
Uh,
Vancouver.
is it the is he? I probably seen his ad. I've probably seen his Twitter.
Founder OS.
He has long hair, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Long hair.
Very cool dude.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah,
very
yeah,
cool. But it would be a
yeah.
very cool dude to connect with. He doesn't spend that much time in Canada anymore, but he talks about like the
Okay.
meditative process, basically, of entrepreneurship. Like it's a journey. It's your own journey. You're seeing your own
Yeah.
evolution as you grow up. Like you become more mature. You're a leader. You take care of your people
Mhm.
around you, and then that kind of festers into other aspects of your life. The inverse is also true, right?
Yeah.
If you're a dickhead and you're an asshole to your employees and to your clients, you're also just going to become a dickhead, and people are going to realize
Yeah.
you for who you truly are. So it's almost like, again, your
Yeah.
business is a reflection of you, right? Quoting the EMET. Now, I want to go where I really want to get help with this podcast and for people is You are fucking crazy logical. You're probably the most logical person I've seen in the online space. Like you have the process,
Really?
you've processed documents, documenting processed documents, right? It's like, and dude, like
Yeah.
it's last time I'd seen documents like that was when I was in fucking university, right? I did like so I did computer
Hmm.
science or a variation of it. I want to basically create like a logical path from 0 to 100K. That's what I'd love to do
Yeah.
with this conversation. But I want to see from your perspective, where do people get it wrong when they're building initially? So you were at that 30K mark and your house was on fire,
Yeah.
basically. Why do you think that's
Hmm.
such a house of cards, basically, building that type of business?
Um. So I'll start before 30K a month, right? Let's just lay out the problems with 30K a month. So I believe the initial, even from 0 to 1, let's say from 0 to 10K, 0 to 20K, because if you can make 10K a month, it's the same thing as making 10 to 30K a month. It's kind of like the same solution.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like same phase you've solved for. The biggest problem that I've seen, and we do this with all our clients, is that a lot of the time the thing they're selling is something they were given by someone else, right? Meaning the insight that bred the solution is is an earned insight from someone else. Let's say I know something, I learned it, I found an insight into something. It could be strategic, it could be tactical, and then I'm like, oh, there could be a solution, a service to be created around in this niche, in this gap.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go and teach it, and then people take it from me, and then they take everything as I gave them. They do nothing on it. They just take it and then they go market it and try to sell it. That is the reason why, even if advertising agencies work, I personally struggled like hell to get coaches or consultants to pay me for advertising, for my advertising services. Even if every coach and consultant, every business needs to advertise at some point,
Mm-hmm.
but the service market fit was not there. So like I was selling something that was given to me by someone else. So I think that's problem number one. You have to go and find your own insight, and you have to figure out reasons why whatever you're selling is worth selling, and it has to be earned by you, not given to you by someone else. You can source a bunch of insights from multiple people, but then you collage it and you put it together, and it becomes something unique to you, right? So that for me, when I stopped selling advertising services and I moved to something like appointment setting, which is a problem that I had faced. I had built my own process around solving it,
Mm-hmm.
and I just brought that process to other people like me who were dealing with the same issues. And man, they started paying me. They just started giving me money. I didn't sell,
Mm-hmm.
you
It
know.
seems crazy to me that someone would sell something they don't know, right? It seems fucking wild.
It's the whole entire industry, bro.
But
It is the whole entire industry.
I don't want to like expose names or whatever, but I had a call with someone
Yeah,
recently, and the individual was selling like the most wild offer you could ever imagine. It was like something for
yeah,
fucking plumbers or some dumb shit, basically. And then someone asked him,
yeah.
"Why are you doing that?" And he was like, "I was given that business by someone else." And the guy said, dude, like, how could you possibly do that? He was like, just picked it from a list of niches, and so on and so forth. If you flip that in contrast, and we know I chatted to you earlier saying that I was a podcaster before I was an entrepreneur, and the
Yeah.
reason, sorry, just for context, my business is we build and grow podcasts, right? And we do
Mm,
everything from the execution to the back end revenue, rev shares, all that kind of
nice.
stuff. But how it grew was we had these conversations, and people would be like, how do you do that with the camera? Like, what do you do here? Like, how does this all connect? Like, how does that make
Mm,
money? So it just brokered into like, okay, we'll just do it for you, right? And this is a half decade experience, right, of me like learning the
yeah.
ropes, and it just seems fucking wild to me that someone would actually just come into the market and try sell something that they don't know, right?
Crazy.
It's probably why is that? Because the friction to go 0 to 1 is so little.
I think it's because humans tend to want the easiest and the fastest path to something, right? So, like as an example, I could probably make 1 million a month telling people to putting something in a box and giving it to them,
Mm-hmm.
and I will actually make 1 million a month doing that, right? But at least for us, what But yeah, like literally, like I mean, it's like technology. It's like how can I get leads without having to go door knocking?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Meta, Facebook solved that. Therefore, they also make like I don't know how many billions of dollars every single month, right? So it's like whoever can create the product that gives you what you want without you having to think, work, wake up, get out of bed
Mm-hmm.
is the one who's going to take your money. So the industry, I mean, it's we're biologically engineered to buy the bullshit.
Mm-hmm. What's your kind of
Yeah.
observation as to like the future of like agencies, coaching businesses? Do you think a lot of them will fizzle out? Like, what's your perspective on that now as you're building?
Um, man, I can even tell you right now that like 95% of everyone in the game doesn't make any money
Mm-hmm.
because there's so actually saw Ty Lopez run an ad on this, but I don't know what's his thought on it. I just saw an ad, but I think there's two way to survive in this game is you need a brand, you need a personal brand, you need a podcast, you need a YouTube channel, you need people to like your character, right? If people don't like you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're the best service provider in whatever you do. As an example for you, I'm sure there are infinite amount of other agencies or that help with podcasts, but I'm sure you could probably dominate the whole entire industry because you practice what you preach, but you also have a brand that people follow,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like for you, the cost of acquiring clients could probably be 1/10 of what others would have to pay to get clients to trust them with creating a podcast and monetizing it,
And dude, just
right? So
just to give you a bit of
that's one.
context on that, like I have no background in audio
Yeah.
engineering, no background in videography, like fuck all. Just basically just figured out some wires and stuck them together.
Yeah.
And even like our production team, like they're all just young guys that like are into
Oh
that
wow.
just love podcasts. Or they just listen to podcasts and they
Yeah.
figure it out. Whereas like the audio nerds that are like 40, 50, 60 years old who run these huge agencies, like
Yeah.
they don't understand that the game is on YouTube. The game is like short form. The game is
Yeah.
connecting with people. It's like young. It's cool, right? They don't get that basically. And I just
Yeah.
think your unique mechanism in that aspect is just not being a fucking potato and actually connecting with
Yeah.
people, right? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
100%. 100%. And I think you should also go acquire the businesses from these old guys.
For sure.
If you want to just you could do that. You can just blow up this thing and not have to hustle all the way up. So that's one, building a brand. So we have clients right now. We recently had a client who's 16 years old, right? Um, which leads into the second option idea or to survive in this game, which is AI. So he started solving the appointment setting problem with AI, and now starting to kind of like also get other agencies into it. And he went from like 5K, 2 to 5K per month in November, December, to in May he cleared $120,000 in a month at 16, right?
Man, that's meant.
It's insane. It's insane. Sometimes I think of the case that I'm like, holy fucking shit. At
What?
16, bro. Like, not even the money side, but like at 16,
Dude, what were you doing at
holy shit,
16? I was
right?
playing fucking Grand Theft Auto.
I, man, I don't fucking know. I was fucking going home and watching TV shows. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't doing nothing. But now it leads me to the next thing. So I think the world of business, especially coaching, consulting, agency, I kind of put them in the same realm, is because some of them do service, other people teach the thing instead of doing the service, right?
Mm.
I think we're going to get into a world where people are going to stop buying courses or coaching programs or info products just to learn something. Instead, they're going to be buying the thing that does the thing on their behalf. So, as an example, instead of me having to buy a media buying course, what if you um, built with AI, put collage, took all the ads, the best performing ads from 500 businesses in 50, 100 niches, and you just put them in an AI thing where you feed the AI the data, and then you just created a prompt that makes it create the best next uh, iteration
Mm.
of the potential future best ad, right? And then instead of me having to buy a course and learn how to click on media buy and set up the business manager and create the creative and then launch the creative, what if I just subscribe to your platform, and it just fed me the best creatives based on the inputs from the best creatives that are performing on these all these businesses. Now, think through that lens, but for every single solution gap mechanism that exists in the current space.
Mm.
So you're a real estate agency that generates leads. Why? What the fuck are media buyers in that doing? Just setting up a campaign and then letting leads come in? Or you're an appointment setting agency? Oh, you're the guy who sets the leads. Why? The
Mm.
script already works. We already know what gets us the best conversion from the best pickup rate. We know the script that gets them to want to be enticed enough to jump on a call. We already know the thing that gets them to show. Put those inputs into a model and let the AI do it. So, and that's why for me, I've kind of like been pushing this build and release idea, is because I actually think humans, we're all gonna go into a place where we don't have to work, but a tool, technology is gonna do most of the work.
Mhm.
But it's those who are gonna figure out how to collect the data from a bunch of people, crowdsource the truth, put it into a thing, let it create the next best iteration, and then you sell that,
Hmm.
in my opinion, instead of coaching, instead of fucking service agency bullshit.
Well, it's just very interesting, right? Because that's why people fucking churn, because 60, 90, 120 days later, they just say, I've got this thing already, and we can either just get an intern to do it because it's already built. So why I
Yes.
love the build and release approach, which we'll get into, is the fact that you're already giving them what they're kind of going to do anyway, which is going to leave, but you're doing it in a much
Yeah.
better commercially viable way, and then they realize, well, these guys aren't stupid. Let's keep them to work on other aspects too. So it's
Correct.
just a different way to view the same, so solving the same problem at a higher level. Again, we go back to these higher level problem solving
Yeah.
approaches.
Yeah.
Where did you get the idea for build and release though? Like what was the kind of thought process
Um.
there?
So first of all, I realized that like so the first, because in 2021, as after I scaled the agency to 30K a month, I had like we had like 14 VAs doing outreach for like 22 companies. Um, but what I realized is that, man, these companies are churning, not because our VAs aren't sending the 300 outreach per day or getting them leads and appointments, but because they have other constraints in the business, right? So maybe the offer was shit, so we could get them leads and appointments, or we struggled to get them that outcome because of the offer was shit,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or even when the offer was good and the our appointment settings processes was good, we got them the appointments they couldn't sell. They couldn't close because either they're really shitty or the fulfillment is broken, they don't have any proof, blah 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 blah. So that's one. I was like, holy shit. Well, my product or service is only as good as other other functions in their business.
So true.
So it's like, well, okay. So I'm like, I'm never gonna get paid enough because
Mm-hmm.
you guys aren't good. So I was like, problem number one is these guys have a broken businesses, and to a degree, every single business has a broken at some point,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if I'm not making 10 million a month, so that means to a 10 million a month founder, I'm not as valuable to them,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's problem number one. But the second thing was, if I'm charging $1,500 a month and you churn after month two, well, what money did I make? I didn't make any money. So now I'm having to expend a lot of energy, capital, resources to go replace you. But by the time I replace you, another person is leaving. So I'm like, okay, come on, bro. Like this business is not it's annoying,
Mm-hmm.
right? Here is the thing. A lot of people stay small and they get to spend a lot of time with each client one on one, and then they hide the churn through relationships, right? Meaning, if I stayed small with only 5 clients and not 22, I could have I could have figured out for those 5 businesses how to get them success, right? But my goal wasn't to build a boutique agency and have 5 clients who pay me and make 5K, 10K per month. That's not my goal. My dream was to build a successful business. So I was not okay with staying small. So I was like, okay, I need a way to get paid a lot of money up front.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was like, you know what? The only way people get paid you up front is if you sell them a one-off thing where you're like, hey, I'm gonna I'm gonna give you every solution you need to all the problems you'll ever experience to getting to, let's say, 50K a month, 100K a month, and I'm gonna build it package it into a process that we're going to then implement into your business. So then that allowed me to solve all the problems that they had, because I could literally tell them, like, hey, I've had 22 businesses like you every month who deal with the same problem you're dealing with right now. Trust me, your problem is not appointment setting.
Mm.
You have so many more problems. But in order for me to give you the appointment setting thing that you want, I have to also give you the solutions to everything you actually need. But it's not going to cost you $2,000 a month. It's actually going to cost you $10,000, $15,000 up front. And people were like, okay, so this guy's promising me to solve every bottleneck in my business, and all I have to do is find 10 grand, 15 grand to solve it. And then they're gonna help me avoid an appointment setting agency, a consultant or coaching program that's also $9,000 already. That's not gonna help you whatsoever with group calls. This guy's gonna also help me with sales. He's gonna collect the sales scripts, the sales process that's already working on his other businesses. He's also gonna set up all the systems that's already working in all these other businesses, and he's gonna just crowdsource the proven processes and systems from all the things and the offers, and he's going to give it to me, and all I have to do is be creative enough to find 10 or 15k, and people just fucking somehow, even people without money, like literally people doing less than 10k a month, found a way to pay us. Even people from India, man. That's kind of like that's where the build and release idea came from. It's I realized that in order for me to get really rich fast, I needed to build a solution that was hard to come by,
Mm.
and not just be a commodity like, okay, I'm just an appointment setting agency, or I'm just a consultant or a coach. I needed a way to do everything
Yeah.
in one thing.
But dude, how the fuck do
Yeah.
you scale that to what you've done? Because what you've been able to get at, because like if you're going in and fixing operations and fulfillment and hiring and sales
Yeah.
and fulfillment,
Yeah.
like what was the struggle there? I think I saw on your P&L
So
that your salaries were like 300k a month or some shit roughly, or is that wrong?
right now it's like 200, right now it's like 200k or something
Mm-hmm.
a month, right? So the way that we did it is, it has to be standardized. It's not, oh, you're an e-com agency, so like we're gonna have to find a new playbook for you. No, it's and also we go through phases of infrastructures that we implement into businesses. So as an example, back then we had really figured out a way to scale e-com agencies through a specific offer. So we actually got advertising agencies away from selling just Facebook ad to selling TikTok, and or back then TikTok organic was blowing up in UGC. So we would design this offer for them. Then we would build the appointment setting system with VAs and the process and the campaigns. Then we would launch it. Then we already had the proven sales script for this offer. Then we already had the process and the systems backend for this offer, right? And we also found a fulfillment partner who's already fulfilling on that offer. Okay. So he had the infrastructure for fulfillment. So now, even though it's a lot of different things, it's the same thing that every single new client goes through. So technically, it's the same process. So even if we get 50 people to go through it, all we just need is to handle the volume of the people. So let's say we have someone who's doing offer build outs. Then we have the department that takes care of sourcing, training, and placing $3 an hour VAs. We actually had built an entire, like, we had 6,000 VAs in a portal who were
How?
at the same time going through education. So they were being educated. So we had actually built a funnel for that. We had built an education platform where they would be like, you have to. So, well, first we built an advertising process where we would get them in. We used TikTok, Twitter. We used every fucking thing, right? Then we pushed them into the education process. So we had built a course, and only until they finished the course would they get a button to be able to even qualify or be vetted. And then once they click the button, then they would move through a pipeline, and then the team would vet them. And based on the test score, we would rate them. So like that's a department that does it. But as you see, it's not like super manual.
For sure.
It's still leveraged in a way, right? Because we're using media, we're using code, blah blah blah. And then that department did that. And then another department building the actual outbound campaigns. So to be honest, one really good growth consultant, one really guy who understands sales process and outbound campaigns, can design 3 to 5 campaigns a day effortlessly,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially that it's in the same niche, is the same, somewhat the same. They're going after the same. In e-com, we would go off with different sub niches, but it's kind of like the same angle. So it's like phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four, buy. Phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four, buy. So at some point, we're placing 90, at our peak, we're placing 90 employees into businesses and launching like 40 new campaigns a month.
Dude, like if you think about it, 10 to 15K is fucking nothing for what you're doing.
It's nothing. Now that I think about it, for all the fucking thing we're doing, I'm like, holy shit.
Dude, like that's actually nothing. Like if you think about it, because like how long I know you're getting results like really fast. Like your time to value ratio was like fucking dialed in. But in real
Yeah.
effect, like you could basically deliver that in like 4 months, right? Like reality.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the
No,
irony
no.
of this is
The
that
delivery was the delivery was 4 weeks of the whole thing. It's just that the other few months was optimization, tweaking, like, hey, my campaign, the deliverability, or hey, this VSL is not being seen. How can we do that? And that's why we gave like a few other months to optimize in community,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I think if
Yeah,
I was to look at myself like zoom out, I'd say one downfall I have is always has always been the data side. And that's something that you're very much dialed in on. Like I think for myself,
yeah,
even looking at like our sales numbers and calls booked and reviewing, like just reviewing that level of detail has always just been I don't know, it's just been something that I think I can definitely improve on. But when I look at your
yeah.
systems and your process, it just looks so dialed in. Like, what made you really go down the fucking nerdy side of all data, numbers, and tracking?
Well, to be honest, I did it because I didn't like to be another guy just like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because how are you gonna stand out, man? Everybody can make claims. Everybody can talk shit,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like everybody can say they're the best because you're entitled. You can say whatever you want, right? But for me, I was like, how can I make our pitch undeniably good, undeniably valuable? And the only way you make something really good is if it's not a matter of probability where it's like, so as an example right now, right, I'm actually working on a new VSL, and the new VSL I'm doing is I'm not trying to, I'm literally calling out like, hey, I'm not going to tell you that I have this special system that works. Instead, I'm going to show you 50 businesses, or I'm going to show you that we're collecting data from hundreds of businesses in 50 niches, and I'm going to show you the cost per book, cost per lead, cost per acquisition. I'm going to show you the fulfillment infrastructure. I'm going to show you the systems we collect data with, and then uh, when you work with us, we give you the processes and systems proven, backed by the data of the most performing businesses, and that's what you're buying.
Mm.
Don't buy from me because I said I'm going to make you the most amount of money. No, buy from me because the numbers don't lie, and if you buy from us, you're buying the output or the inputs that created these
The
numbers.
outcomes.
So what we're selling, so then it's a way of like making our sales argument really undeniable,
Mm-hmm.
right?
For sure.
It's a way to stand out, man, because this industry has become a shit show.
Yeah, man. I think for a bit of clarification, I think the difference there is for us, you have a lot of like the numbers in terms of the outcome, but I think mainly it's a tracking mechanism that you've done such a good job on, right? Which is
Yeah,
really following down the fulfillment of not only systematic, so what's that, qualitative, but also quantitative.
yeah,
That it's super super fucking dialed in on that path.
yeah,
What do you think?
yeah.
What's the difference between like 100K a month business and a million a month?
It's it's ticket price. Like if you're selling something really cheap, it's hard to get to 1 million a month, right? And you need to have an advantage when it comes to cost to acquire clients. Like right now, I know plenty of people have gone to 1 mil a month, but they've also gone down to literally not even being able to make 100K a month because they didn't have the brand equity. They didn't deliver. They didn't put so much value into the audience, into the prospects. Like as an example, scaling cold audience to 1 mil a month and staying there is insanely hard. But there is a group of people who are making 1 million a month uh, with like little spend on ads, right? And it's because I think you need to get to $1 million a month. You almost like need to be delivering like 10 million, $100 million a month worth into your audience. So
Mm.
it's almost like you can only you can only squeeze out or take out what you put in. It's like a savings account. For me, the reason why I go hard on YouTube isn't necessarily because I want to necessarily get a crazy big audience, but it's because every single video that I put out is something that I just thought of that is really insightful, and I want to give it to people so they almost like goodwill. I just want to stack goodwill, 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 goodwill. And then when I want to monetize, I monetize, but I've already delivered 20 hours worth of content,
Mm-hmm.
20 hours worth of insights, 20 hours worth of value, 20 hours worth of savings. And then when I ask them for 10 grand, 15 grand, based on what I've already given them, it doesn't make as much of a big difference. So that's one. You have to have goodwill, or else you're cooked. Like people who literally get leads and they're trying to get appointments and then try to sell, that is crazy to think that you're going to scale and remain profitable. I'll give you an example. And this is actually from a stat we so I'm building a new sales enablement side of things where we're going to be building sales processes and systems into companies and then do fractional sales on the back
Sick.
end. And while I was doing research for this new venture, I talked with one of my old closer who's been working in a few companies building their sales teams, and he gave me a company that's doing 1 million, 1.5 million. But this business is doing that number with $250,000 plus 250K to 300K a month worth of ad spend. So one third, one fourth of their revenue is advertising just to get leads. That's a quarter of a million. Bye, ciao, right? But they also have a sales team of 30 closers. Just the closers. Closing side is 30 closers. Now, for $1 million a month or 1.5 million a month, you would be like, wow,
Mm.
that's decent because $1 million a month is a lot of money every month, right? But what if I told you that we're doing 400K cash plus with one closer,
Hmm.
and only 25K USD a month in ad spend?
It's just the economics of it is a shit show, right?
Is in
Eh,
That's what I'm saying. So now the difference in the businesses in the efficiency of the funnel
mhm.
is where most people go wrong. So it's not about getting to $1 million a month. Like right now, okay, cool. If I wanted to get to $1 million a month, I could just spend 200 grand a month in ads
Mhm.
and make a really crazy brainer off, no brainer offer, and I could get people wanting to buy. That's not the issue. The issue is if I think like the easy route, I just go create a really good offer, I spend money on ads, and I just promise people on sales calls that I'm going to deliver
Yeah.
or they don't pay, everybody's going to be willing to take the risk. But most people figure that game out and they stay there,
Hmm.
not realizing that business is not, it's a scale. It's a scale that you don't see, but there is a scale. If you take away from people, then you're giving them, the universe comes for you. It's karma, it's whatever it is, but the marketplace can judge you. It judges you based on, are you pulling too much? Are you giving too much? Are you giving little? And then that's where, even if you make money today and you're making $1 million a month today, tomorrow ain't promised unless you understand and respect the rules of, are you giving more than you're taking from people?
Are you an entrepreneur who wants to build your influence and authority online? You may have tried some of the hacks and tricks, but none of it has worked. And it makes sense. 90% of podcasts don't make it to episode 3. Of the 10% that are left, 90% of them don't make it to episode 20. That's where Voix comes in. Voix creates, manages, and grows your podcast for you on your behalf. If you've not been getting leads, not been growing consistently, you haven't found your tribe, and you don't know what to do, Voix is the answer. Don't just take our word for it. In the past couple of years, we've managed over 35 podcasts. We've also been able to generate over 55 million views with 500 episodes produced. And not only that, generating over $1 million for our clients in products, services, and sponsorships. So if you want to learn more about how you can build a great podcast and have it fully managed for you, schedule a call with me at Voix and we will help you achieve your podcast goals. Man, I fucking love that. That's so sick. Are you familiar with Bology from Coinbase?
No, no.
He's a famous saying that everyone's boss is the CEO and the CEO's boss is the market. The market will clear you fucking out, right? which is
Oh,
basically
it
like,
will fucking kill you.
and dude, this is the irony of the guys selling like fucking $40 ebooks and they're selling quarter of a million, and then 2 months later, everyone wants to kill them, right? Like that's literally what's happening here.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Yeah,
and like
yeah,
it's the impact of time, right? At the end of the day, is that yes, you can make that money
yeah.
now, but dude, that's going to literally burn the brand, and it's just interesting to observe,
It's so
right?
bad.
Because even from an outcome perspective, as what we can promise clients, I even spoke to someone
Yeah,
yesterday about this, being like, I'm actually hesitant to put a specific number on, let's say, an evergreen outcome, because like it's
yeah.
multifactorial. And in the small instance of someone coming back and basically saying that back to you, I wouldn't want that from a
Hmm.
brand perspective. I would prefer to,
Yeah,
I don't know, I prefer to tackle the problem a slightly different way, just so that you don't explode the fucking brand in the process.
I know.
Um,
Yeah,
you mentioned there about the scale up and the efficiency in the business. This is a very interesting debate because, you see the bigger companies, and yes, their margins are smaller, but Apple's
yeah,
margins smaller because of the fact that like they do so much different fucking shit. But when you're at 1 million a month,
yeah.
it shouldn't be down at that penny level, right?
No,
Because
no,
the
no,
health of the business is not good, and it goes back to
no.
traction, right? If we
Yeah,
look at those like just high level metrics in a business, if it looks like shit, it's like your internal body. It could look great on the outside, but you're not going to
yeah,
last long, right?
yeah. That's why for me, yeah, that's why for me, I have not wanted to scale until I have a way to scale, but in a healthy way where I'm not taking so much from the almost like press the gas, I press the brakes a little bit because I've realized that like, and I was learning this. There's this guy Chamath who
Mm-hmm.
worked for Meta, right? Chamath, and he's saying that the half life of a business is how fast you get it to the peak. So like even though in business we're always trying to like grow the fastest, so that means let's say if our businesses cap around 1 million, 2 million, 3 million a month, the faster you get to 2 3 million a month is also the time it takes you to get there is the time that also take you to go back down to zero. And they've done research on this where it's like if it took Amazon 25 years to get to its peak, or 30 years, it's probably going to take another 30 years for it to go down. So if it took me to get to 600K a month in 2 years, technically it would have taken 2 years for me to go back down to zero,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's what happens to most people in our space. They go 3 million a month, or they start making crazy claims, and then it's here, the same time it took them. So for me, I've learned that like you can't just chase the like revenue, and the fastest growth cannot be your ultimate goal. It has to be. It's almost like a steps. It's like you get up, but then you stay there a little bit. Just
Mm-hmm.
stay there longer. Build a new infrastructure. Build a new layer that will support the new layer, and then you stack, and you make sure. I think Taylor Welch says this. He says you got to let the ground settle, right? I think it says something like that, where you got to let the revenue here. You got to lock it in. If you can lock in a certain revenue mark, then you don't deserve the next one. Because if you go to the next one without locking in this new level of weight that you have, you're gonna get there, but you're gonna crumble because 1 million a month, 2 million a month is a lot of customers, clients, and it's also a lot of teams. It's also a lot of zaps. It's also a lot of tracking. It's a lot of end of day reports.
Mm.
It's a lot of it's a lot of thinking of like, oh, this could go wrong. Now, you're just thinking, oh, 1 million a month sounds nice, so 2 million a month sounds nice. Yeah, it sounds nice if all you have is a course and ads and a closer and a setter. Yeah, fuck yeah, it's okay, cool, whatever. But like that's not sustainable because
Mm-hmm.
anybody can get a course on school, get a setter, get ads, and get a closer. So
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to survive in 2 years. Like I have 16-year-olds making 100K a month. I'm not going to. I already know that like it doesn't take much to make money online. So for me, I've learned that I need to chase harder games, do harder things,
Mm-hmm.
and do it. Take my time. Take my time. There's no rush.
There's a difference between growth and scale. James Kemp explained this to me before. I'm actually going to his mastermind pretty
Hmm.
soon. He's a really cool dude. It's just like, when you're scaling, it's more and more and more. When you're growing, it's improving all the infrastructure that you broke on the way to get there. And,
Yeah.
I want to ask you this question actually because it's something that kind of troubles me is that, when you see these guys, like even like yourself, like the more that you've made, and instantly in the past 45 minutes, we were quite similar. We have a lot of kind of similar interests and whatnot. I can tell that
Yeah.
like you're a humble dude, you're down to earth guy, and the more money that you've made, it's almost like you've become more normal and centered and down to earth, right? And similar to myself, like, dude,
Yeah.
like when I was making fucking 10K a month, I had the biggest chip on my shoulder. And then as the business grew, I
Yeah.
realized I was a dumbass, and then managing, 10, 15 employees. And I'm like, I know nothing.
Yeah.
Every day I know nothing, right?
Yeah.
And it's a blessing. It's like a blessing.
Mhm.
So what I'm trying to say is that as you grow more as like the CEO and founder, I become
Mhm.
more down to earth to some degree. Someone probably say I'm an asshole. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
what's your take on that though? Because you see some people that move the other direction as they make more money, they become more
Yeah.
abrasive, more like a
Yeah.
WWE character on the internet, and it's just kind of weird,
Yeah.
right?
I think that reaction comes a lot from a lack of like self-worth,
Mm.
right? So if you see a character online who's like showing off or trying to prove something, it's because they need others to approve of them before they can approve of themselves, right? So therefore, their worth is only they're only worth what others think they're worth. So therefore, they gotta show off. They gotta showcase their wealth. They gotta showcase everything they're doing in order for others to validate them with likes, with comments, with love, and everything like that, and then they feel great,
Mm.
right? And I think it's because deep down they don't feel like they're worthy of, like, without their other people's attention they feel like they lack something,
Mm.
right? Now, on the other hand, I think for me it has almost been, I think at least the mindset I've always told myself is that I'm not achieving something great because I need to fill a gap or that I need to achieve it to be worth something. I've always had this mindset that I'm like, I'm something, therefore I need to build something great. It's like I don't get to achieve success because success makes me. It's like I'm something, or I feel like I have the potential. So therefore, it's only right I do something great with my life,
Mm.
right? But when it comes to business, I think if until your mind, until you realize, it's only until you realize that like you can only grow to the degree that you can disassociate yourself from the business itself.
Mm.
Like as an example, when you're starting out, to make 10K a month is everything new. It's your decisions, it's your effort, it's your energy, it's your money being invested. To get to a million a month, the only thing the CEO, or maybe even multiple, even nine figures a year, the only thing the CEO needs to do is to make sure that there's someone making a decision on marketing, on sales, on fulfillment, on finance,
Mm.
on team, and these guys have to do the work. So your only job is to lead them and make sure that the vision is exciting enough and for them to even be want to be part of your vision. So for me, I made the realization that like I was good enough to get us off the ground, but the next level of success has nothing to do with Serge. It can be me. I'm gonna yap online or whatever, right, to get the reach. But like the back end, when's the last time I opened our CRM? I don't remember. When's the last time I worked on systems? I don't remember. When's the last time I onboarded clients? I don't remember. Right now, I still do these things, but the function of it doesn't rely on me.
Mm.
So knowing that, why the hell would I think that I'm it?
Mm.
Like I'm only as good as my team. So like I'm not successful because I work hard
Mm.
whatsoever, whatsoever.
You know what that to
So
remind
I
me
have
of?
no entitlement.
It's remind me of people who partner with people to build products, and there's one guy and there's one guy in the background, but it's the guy that's the face gets all the praise, right? And I don't want to
Yeah,
name names, but
exactly.
like you see this in not the product space, but the physical product space, right? It's like look
Okay.
how amazing this celebrity is, or look how amazing this individual is.
Yeah.
Like let's give an example, like Kim Kardashian, she Skims. Everyone's like,
Mhm.
she's so amazing at making clothes. It's like she's never even seen the clothes, dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's an extrapolation of like these on a smaller scale. So it's like if you're devising all of your self-worth from it, um and that's actually funny, right? Because when you're at that smallest stage, you're like, oh, like I deserve this, or this is great because I've done it.
Yep.
Whereas when you have the right people in the right seat, they just fucking execute. And that's
Yeah.
most of that's actually been one of our recent challenges, was putting the right people in the right seat who were capable enough to execute at a high level, that were committed.
Mhm.
Because you can find good people, but it's just not the level of commitment, which has been
I know
another level of my kind of journey, right? Is like,
it's hard.
yes, you can get good young guys, but you can't get people that are super skilled and also want that kind of vision. Now, I want to ask you
Yeah.
about the content man, because like for me, just being like content dude and having content businesses, actually you'll find this quite interesting. So I've
Hmm.
never ever ran an ad for my business. It's all been
Wow.
driven organic. And I'm a
Wow.
fucking nerd with this shit, dude. So I believe that you don't need a big audience. Like, I believe you can make a shit ton of money from a small audience when you solve a very specific problem
Yeah.
for a very specific user. So I've never run ad. I'm not opposed to it. We just never have done it. So that's why
Yeah.
I love observing people like yourself who are just a fucking beast when it comes to creating content. What's kind of been what was your kind of awakening to it, right? Because you're releasing episodes like every 2 days or every 3 days, right? What was that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
awakening that you
Yeah.
were like, fuck, like this, let's turn this up?
Uh, um, for me, I don't know what it is, but I've always, even because I started creating content in 2020, right?
Yeah.
And I guess I have this character where I'm not opposed to be in front of camera. I don't mind. I enjoy it. Now, have was I always good and confident in front of a camera? Not really, but um, I've always had the confidence to think that it was the right path. Back in 2020, I used to go to a cottage with friends who we worked at a 9 to 5 with, and I would go in the bedroom and I would just shoot like a little content, right? And I would talk about what I was learning from Naval, and I posted on YouTube or my Instagram, I think. And but for me, what really changed it for me was when I saw what it did for my business. Like, so just to give you context, in in 2022 September, we're around 150K a month. The following month, we did around 340K. The following month after that, we did almost like over almost 400K cash collected. The following month, we did almost 600K cash collected, and I only spent $7,000 on ads. Right, so that's like over $1 million in cash collected. And I can tell you this: it was not cold leads from ads that did it for me. These people were not like, oh, they got set and then they bought. No, it was people who had spent months consuming my content, and it's not content that's flashy. It's not entertaining. I don't entertain people. Like, I'm not talking about stuff that is gonna, you're gonna enjoy unless it's actually interesting to where you're trying to go. So it's specific content,
Mm.
specific insights to a specific crowd, and the solution and the gap that I was bridging. And this is really important when it comes to content, is you have to find content and talk about a an expensive gap and a really painful gap. If you're just talking about content on how to make like 5K a month, 10K per month, you're only going to get people to pay only so little, so much, right?
Mm.
For me, I found an angle around creating content that's talking about $500,000 a year worth of transformation. So when I ended up releasing our program back then, which was the half a mil, where we're kind of like building a appointment setting system and the offers and everything like that. Well, all I needed on a 10, 15K offer, all I needed to make that kind of money is just 30 people, 40 people a month to say, yes, I want to buy. And I think I had like 3,000 subs and 3 to 5K subs in that 3 month where we did $1 million in cash,
What?
right?
Man, that's
Yeah.
wild.
So that's when I was like, holy shit. And that's why right now, every single partner we have, they have to have a content long form channel. If they do not have it, I don't want to work in your business, because then we're going to have to compete with these guys making dummy promises on ads.
Mm.
I don't want to do that model. I don't, because I know that you can make $500,000 a month with 5,000 leads, 5,000 really educated subscribers, followers, leads. Fuck the $100,000 followers. Who the fuck is? Out of 100,000 people, most of them don't even know what they want in life.
Mm.
So all you really need, a good 5,000 subscribers who have the same pain point, and just sell 1%, 5% of them on a really great solution, and then retain the best clients and partner with them on once they actually become deserving of the attention.
Yeah.
But like right now, if you don't have a content business on top of the service, an education business on top of the service layer or the product layer, I mean, good luck. Good luck paying for ads.
Man, this is literally crazy. Like if you were to calculate your revenue per follower, it's probably
Yeah.
one of the most impactful possible, right? And the most
Yeah.
I think you overlooked this. Well, you actually probably didn't, but most people will overlook this. Is you mentioned you were looking to get people to 500K a year, and you know Jordan
Yeah.
Platten, he was on your show. I asked Jordan, I
Yeah.
said, what separates your offer from Iman's offer, and he said demographic. He said he was going after the 21 to 24 range versus the 16 to 19
Hmm.
range. And that
Yeah.
dictated everything. It dictated the position of the content. And that may seem so abstract to people. They might think, what? Like there's like four
Yeah.
years of a difference. But there isn't. And bear in mind, that's a tiny split. But for you, you're positioning the 500K a year business.
Yeah.
It's quantum leaps. It's bigger games. Again, it's over. It's the same thing being
Bigger
repeated.
pain. Yeah.
It's bigger. Have you ever read Gap Selling?
Mm, no, maybe.
Man, I gotta send you the
But
book. It's literally exactly how you're
yeah.
describing. Like that pain, that
Yeah.
creating that gap effectively. It's a B2B
Yeah.
sales book, but it's effectively how you're describing it.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. No, I mean, for us right now, for our partnership layer, it's like we're promised. Our goal is to get every partner to 500K a month. But the reason why I go that pick that is because it's more expensive.
Hmm.
It's more painful because just like anybody who's, let's say, making 10K a month, to get to 50K a month, they're willing to sacrifice a lot than what the guy who could sacrifice from 0 to 10K a month.
Hmm.
But then from 50K a month to 500K a month, the lack in, in character, like that little, like, hey, I'm pissed off that I'm not able to get there, is turning in their head a lot more. It's this, it's like, fuck, I know I can do it. I know I'm worth it. Because this is what I tell myself
Mm.
every day about the next level of play. So if you can find the right avatar who's super pissed off about why they're not growing, and make sure that the gap is the as big as it can be, that's where you get to monetize and get a lot of value
Mm.
for yourself and for them, of course.
And do you come in then and take like a percentage on the back end when they're at that point,
Yeah.
and then you scale
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
further?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So how does that work?
Yeah. So we'll come in, we audit. First of all, we need to audit the metrics of the business
Hmm.
and figure out which constraint. Sometimes people literally just don't even track anything every day. Like they don't know. Like 'cause some people are like, hey, I want to get to 100K a month, 500K a month. But it's like, okay, but have you ever seen what is required of you every day to get there?
Mm.
Right? How many daily leads? How many daily conversations? How many daily sets? How many daily show ups? How many daily discovery calls if you have a two call process? How many strategy sessions, closing call taken? Right? Most people don't even know the daily inputs. So therefore they keep on wandering around. Like they're like, oh, I want to make this money. I want to make this money. They keep writing on their notebook about what they want to manifest. But I'm like, business at scale is not about manifestation. It's about, I know how much money I need to spend today, how many hours I need every single employee to work, every single employee inputs. I need to know it on a day-to-day basis. So for us, our value when we come in is, we need to know this for your niche. But the way we know this is you need to collect the data on what's already creating the current scale that you have. So if you're making 50K, 100K a month, we reverse engineer like what's creating 50K, 100K a month worth of
Mm.
cash every month.
Hmm.
Then we extrapolate it to 500K a month. But then we realize that like it's not just about linear growth. It's not like, okay, we're going to spend more money on ads, and then we're
Mm.
going to hire more sellers. We don't like that. What we like to do is, how can we widen the gap of how much attention we're getting, but then on the conversion mechanism, we don't want to use this typical sales process or like calls closers.
Mm.
So what we like to do is we like to come in and actually build really big moments of conversions. Like maybe it could be a webinar, it could be a really good sales letter, it could
Mm.
be, but then we'll also do, fractional sales. So we'll build the systems to track the data for the current business. Then once we have data, then we can set the goal, and then we go in and implement based on the priority of the constraints. So it could be marketing, or it could be sales, it could be fulfillment, or the offer is actually not that great,
Yeah.
so we price a low ticket, so we want to increase price, and then so we work on those constraints. um,
There's a lot, man. There's a lot that you're touching for what you're charging, which is why obviously you've scaled up your prices and so on and so forth. It's
yeah, yeah.
it's
Oh
interesting
yeah.
though, right? Because I know you were discussing before like the typical retainers and the reality of that. And just to give a bit of context, I think the reason why our business has grown really well is because
Yeah,
we had retainers, which I call like sleep easy at night money, right? It's like, oh, sleep easy at
yeah,
night. People
yeah.
people sign on for 6 months. Yeah, they might not pay or whatever, but like,
Nice.
it allows you sleep.
It's just,
But
yeah.
the back end for us is where we actually made the money, which was sponsorships for
Mm.
people. So you imagine Andrew Huberman and AG1, it's actually our company that's
Yeah.
doing the deals. Then it was
Oh wow.
paid interviews was really big, fucking huge in the podcast space. You wouldn't believe who pays for interviews.
Really?
Huge, dude. And then rev shares then on the back of that, then basically on the back of their businesses. So that's actually like
Wait,
how we made our money, just being transparent, which I
wow.
didn't realize. I didn't realize that in the beginning. It was just that we had a very big podcast that was in our portfolio, and he was like, "Hey, can you manage all
Yeah.
the sales for our sponsors?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And so what I'm just trying to say is that you come in thinking it's one thing, but it's actually the other thing,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
gave us like more opportunity, basically. So, how do you kind of situate that when you're looking at a business and you're trying to grow it? Because if you're just trying to get
Yeah.
retainers, you need more people. Now,
So
we wouldn't need more people as a
yeah.
result. That's what I'm trying to say.
So I think so. Here's how I think through pricing. Okay. I like to charge one-off fees, or I like to. So let's say for a business, for a client doing, if they're not well financially, meaning they're not printing a lot and they don't have a lot of leverage, I don't like to put them on rev share, or even like monthly payments, because anytime that their revenue dips, they're going to try to cancel.
Hmm.
So that's why a lot of agencies are giving retainers a few $1,000, even if it's low, like 2 grand a month. That guy will cancel
Hmm.
because they're already, every dollar they question it. They question because they can see the billing. They don't have many people billing them, so they can actually see, fuck, he just billed me.
Yeah.
What is he doing again for me? So they can question the value. So for that type of market segment of the marketplace, I would say people doing less than like 20K a month. We like to sell them one thing, high ticket, 10, 15 grand, give them everything. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, once the business starts doing half $1 million a year and beyond, they've already validated that they can make money. They've already validated they're a great CEO. Those type of people, we like to give them a little bit more attention because they have what it takes to 5x, 10x the business with the right process, with the right discipline, with the right systems, and with the right team. Now, since we know that they're already good and it takes just a little improvement to 10x the business, we want a piece of the growth, and we want to also build them a service fee. So that way, we're not, it's almost like the mistake is, and you're seeing this with the creator space, right? People building school communities in
Hmm.
exchange of a percentage, but you're giving that time and service to someone, even though they have an audience, they have no infrastructure for actual business.
Yeah.
They just create content. So you're taking a lot of your service and giving it to someone who has no leverage when it comes to offer, when maybe even the audience isn't monetizable that well. So a lot of people are building these cool communities for people with 100,000 followers, this and that, but they're only making 30K a month because this guy had never thought of business. You're literally starting from scratch. It's like being a beginner. So for us, we never want to give our service or our performance offers or management offers to businesses that are below our leverage threshold, which is you already know how to fulfill, you already know how to get attention, you
Hmm.
already know how to sell. Now let's just come in and kind of like build better processes and systems and actually just 10x the business and do more leverage shit,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, man. Like,
So that's how I think about it.
hmm. So much food for thought, man. Have you ever heard of Tim Ferriss's approach to chasing field mice or antelope?
No,
Oh,
no.
you'll love this. So, his decision making process around like ideas and everything, because he obviously has 1,000 ideas in his head, and
Yeah, yeah,
ideas come towards him. He says, is he chasing field mice and going after these small ideas, or chasing an antelope because a lion only needs to hit one antelope a fortnight to eat for 2 weeks,
yeah.
or chase field mice forever? And it's such a great way to position
Mm,
these
exactly. Yeah.
these opportunities even to rev share with, right? Because I was a partner on like 15, 20 different offers. But my thesis, which was wrong, which was, oh, we only need one of them to win the Olympics to be fucking the bank, right? But
No, no, no.
it
Yeah.
still wasn't the right frame, because it just meant that you were spanning across everyone. Now
Exactly.
you learn it the hard way, right? By getting fucking
Yeah.
by wasting your time.
Trust me.
And that's a limiting
Yeah.
belief, right? And it's also a form of cope to say, oh yeah, just fucking bet. My approach was like, bet on one horse, and the horse will fucking eventually win. But
Hmm.
different ways to slice and dice it. But I think this is just a whole different era of like playing on bigger levels. That's how I extrapolate this conversation.
Yeah. No, I mean what you're saying, like, I also, I'm learning this and restructuring our offers through these lens today, right? It's not like a year ago, 2 years ago. Because also, if you're growing, you don't realize
Mm-hmm.
that you're under leveraged,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why for us, on once I realized that, like, okay, I can't build people the same way. I also almost like, it's like who you serve is how leveraged you are, right? Like who you pick to serve dictates how you grow and how much effort you have to put into growth. So like even if you see like a lot of these guys who are selling products, coaching offers, and this and that, making a lot of money, they have to go hunt the next day
Hundred
because
percent.
right. So it's like, so they're actually not that smart.
Yeah.
And I learned this the hard way because we spent 2 years without having any partnership backend service performance offer for the longest time, right?
Mm.
And now we kind of like have, we incubate clients, and then once we give them the systems and processes, they implement it, and we help them with strategy. And once they get to a level where they're actually killing it, which is not everyone,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I don't that's why I'm trying to get away from making promises and being like, hey, these are all the systems and processes we use for our partners. You can access them in the incubator, but I'm only going to pay you more attention once you actually make a shit ton of money with our consulting and our systems and processes. But before, it was like every client is worth. No, you can't pour all the energy into every client and think that you're going to make a lot of money, or just sell like programs, or just sell this, because people is like, I
Mm.
want to be a partnership is the best route, or oh no, consulting and just
Mm.
coaching and info is the best route. No,
Yeah.
it's everything. It's just a spectrum. You need to be at all these layers, and you need to monetize. It's almost like one gets you in, and then another one brings you the next client, right? So like the products have to be the funnel
Mm.
if you want a sustainable business and to be able to sleep at night, or else you're going to be the partnership model, and you're going to lose 50% of all your clientele in 1 month because something went wrong.
Yeah.
Or if you're the productized offer where you sell 50 people every month, if ads break, if your closers drop, if AI comes out and does your coaching without needing for people to spend time in an efficient way and learning on school or information
Mm-hmm.
or consulting, your business goes from 500K a month, a mil a month, all the way down to not being needed.
Hmm.
And like, good luck running businesses where this level of risk exists. For
Mm.
me, that's the thing that scares me into being married to a specific model. Like for me, I'll do everything. I'm not married to like, oh, we're this. No.
Mm. You're adapting
you
with
know
times, man, and especially right now when everything is a fucking vitamin, you need to find that painkiller, right?
hmm
Which is like, you've been so good at being able to identify and evolve, right? That's really, really important with this, because if AI and shit comes up and it pushes harder, like around the spectrum, people will say, look,
we're
the
cooked.
$1,500, yeah, this AI tool is kind of shit, but it's only 50 a month,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
shit, but let's get on with it.
Yeah.
It saves the
Yeah.
heartache. And I think understanding the pulse of the market is something that most people are too ignorant to do. So
Mm-hmm.
it's awesome, man, to hear this. And I want to say a big thank you, bro, for
Yeah,
everything for the past fucking 90 minutes. Like, you've
of
really
course.
blew my mind, man. And I really do wish you the best in fucking what you do for the next couple of months, because it's just cool to see how you're evolving through this period over the past 2, 3 years. And yeah, man,
Yeah.
I want to say a big thank you.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.